So this video is my first YouTube video. I'm really excited, but I'm really nervous and I'm shy and I have social anxiety, so just deal with my weirdness because I want to just tell you guys about my story, my trip to Mount Shasta. It's so exciting because I love reminiscing about it. Like every time I close my eyes, I can still go back to that magical place in the forest and just be there and remember the light that I took home with me, and the beautiful energy that I went home with after leaving that mountain is truly magical. So I want to explain to you guys at first how I even heard about Mount Shasta and the series of events and synchronicities that actually led me to the mountain. So it all started, I'm gonna make it brief because I tried to make this video and go into the story with detail and I got so sidetracked that I had to restart. So I'm just gonna briefly tell you guys. I was following my interests with Atlantis. I bought a whole bunch of books on Atlantis, started reading and finding my connection with that civilization, and then I heard about Lemuria, started buying a whole bunch of books about Lemuria, reading, remembering, feeling my connection. And then obviously once I heard about Lemuria, the next book that I found was Telos. And Telos is a book that's channeled information, and it tells about a fifth dimensional city that is the remnants of Lemuria that lives underground in 5D, not in our physical third dimension. And they are the Lemurians. So the underground city is called Telos. And it sounds like a fake story. And I tried telling Jamal about it and he looked at me so crazy, but yeah. So if you think this sounds crazy, that's okay. You're not alone. I know it sounds crazy. I just saw 222. So heard about Mount Shasta, felt my connection to Lemuria, and was able to book a trip there for my 28th birthday, which was really special. A few months ago, I actually moved to Sacramento, which is about 3.5 hours from Mount Shasta. So that right there was one of the reasons why I was able to go for my birthday, because it was such a short drive away. So I felt like this move actually was like divinely orchestrated somehow to get me closer to Mount Shasta. And I'm going there again for Christmas, which is the same month. I was just there on the 1st. I'm going back for the 23rd to the 6th. And I just feel like I'm meant to be there, supposed to be there. So I moved, not purposely, 3.5 hours from Mount Shasta. So anyways, that's what made me go to Mount Shasta. So then when we got there, we stayed at the Mount Shasta Resort. It was really cool experience, and I don't know if the hotel like rigs it to where Ancient Aliens plays and they're talking about like Lemuria. It was really weird. That was on when we got there, and Jamal tried saying that the hotel makes it that way, but what was really weird is the first thing I do when we walk into the room is I turn the TV on and I flip through some of the channels. I keep skipping ahead, just trying to find anything to put on, and I reach the History Channel and Ancient Aliens is playing. And I thought that was really weird, and they actually might just have like that playing for the hotel, but honestly, I felt like it was playing because it was a message for me. And we watched Ancient Aliens like all night long, right? And then later that night, keep in mind, this is after my trip to the portals with Paul, and we got home and I wanted to put on Ancient Aliens in the bedroom. So I take the remote and I'm holding it down and I let up the button randomly to just see how far the channels went. The second I take my thumb off of the remote button, it's Ancient Aliens. and it's talking about Mu, M-U, which, if you've heard, is another name for Lemuria. So me and Jamal, we thought that was so weird, and he was convinced that they did it like that on purpose, but I knew when I took my thumb off that button and Ancient Aliens just clicked onto that screen, there's other forces that were there with me making that happen. That's what I believe. So I'm going to continue to believe that because that's what I feel happened. And it was very special. So, because like when you go to Mount Shasta, there's like this whole fun aspect where everyone who's not believing in this stuff, it's like a fun myth, and the whole town is like in on it. So you could go to something as simple as a grocery store, and instead of typical magazines that you see at like Target, you will find stuff like this. So I had to buy this for a souvenir because I wanted to buy more, but I chose this one. Also, the first thing I did when we got to Mount Shasta, of course, was go to the crystal shop called the Crystal Room. And what's really cool about this crystal shop is they give detailed reports about your crystals that you end up choosing. So the first one I chose is a Lemurian quartz, a clear Lemurian quartz, and it is, they just give a chart saying like if it's a rainbow, if it's a channeling crystal. I have to read through it still in more detail. Obviously, I don't know too much about them yet, but these are the two that I picked out. They're so special to me. This one's a smoky quartz, smoky Lemurian quartz, and clear Lemurian quartz. They're beautiful. I've slept with them every night since I took them home from Mount Shasta. They're so beautiful. They're the most beautiful crystals I've ever owned. I'm so happy talking about them. Okay, so once we got to the hotel, we went and we got my crystals, and then we went, we took a drive to go see some places before we met up with Paul. And then we went to go meet Paul, so I'm going to tell you guys about that story. Oh, I just was nervous to meet him because I saw like his Instagram and his page, but I was like, who is this guy? Like, his page says Paul from Venus. That instantly intrigued me. Oh my God, I want to tell you guys how I found Paul. So I don't know if it's my spirit guides, the Lemurians. I don't know who's doing all this stuff, but like things just find me, the right things, the right places, the right books, and like I don't know who does it, but thank you. It might be me. It might be my higher self. I'm not consciously aware of. But all I know is, so as soon as I heard about Mount Shasta, instantly looked up spiritual tours, and I'm laughing so hard because I almost feel like they put the exact words in my head to Google. So I'm thinking like, oh my God, gotta book this trip to Mount Shasta, and I start typing in, and how I type it is literally Mount Shasta spiritual tours. And so I just happened to use the literal same exact words as Paul's business. His business is literally called Mount Shasta Spiritual Tours. So I basically typed in his name of his business, and the first thing that pops up is Paul. So obviously when I click on his website, I see the word starseed, I see that he's from Venus, and I'm just like, okay, this is the guy. This is the only person who I feel like is appropriate to share like this experience with me on Mount Shasta. So messaged him. It was like, oh God, it was so meant to be. He just said like the perfect things, and he told me like the different half day and full day tours he offers. I chose the half day tour that is 4 hours, and he takes you to the portals. It's $333, and it was the best, honestly best $333 I've ever spent in my life. And it's so worth it, and I couldn't honestly recommend Paul more, or I couldn't recommend Paul enough. He is he's special, you guys, and you'll know when you meet him. And you'll know if you're supposed to be on Mount Shasta too, because you'll be called there. And what's special is Paul told me that the mountain doesn't allow anyone on the mountain unless they're supposed to be there. So if you're being called, or if you've even made it to the mountain, it was meant to be. And so I keep losing my track of thoughts. So I'm gonna have to like put these videos into clips. This is harder than I thought, but I'm having so much fun. Like, this is more exciting than Instagram. This is like the first other platform that I'm branching out on, because Instagram only has like the 15-second clips and then 1 minute at the most. And like sometimes people have more to say. So that's where YouTube comes in. And so now I'm venturing out down that avenue, and I'm really excited. So thank you for just watching, and thank you for like taking time to come check out my channel. And most of you that are watching this video, you don't care about like me and my story. Well, I'm sure you do, but I just saw 11/11. You guys are watching because you want to go to Mount Shasta. Like, so take this story as a sign. Go feel it for yourself. It's so amazing. So let me get to the story. Okay. So we meet Paul. As soon as I meet Paul, oh God, I just realized how sidetracked that I got. I said that 10 minutes ago. I was supposed to start with me meeting Paul. So we meet Paul and we drive, and we're hiking into the snow, and Paul stops me and he's like, stand right there. See that light shining through the trees? Stand right there. And he took a picture, and the Saint Germain energy, the violet flame of Saint Germain was over me, and I couldn't see it, but Paul showed me in the pictures, and that was really special. And that was right before we hiked kind of like into the mountain. It was more like towards the street. So then as we hike further in, this is where Jamal veered off because he said his knee hurt and he couldn't continue to hike. I think he just wasn't into like the whole spiritual portal tour as much as I was. I really wanted him there, but he was there for important parts. And so me and Paul continued our journey into the mountain, and we went to the first portal, which is the Star of David portal. This was where I had my most like significant experience. So I'll post the video of Paul talking about the Star of David portal, but after we made 3 circles around the portal to activate it, we sat and we meditated in the portal. And it was really transformational and emotional. I was crying, and it was like a guided meditation. So Paul helped me release certain things that I needed to release. And that specific portal was for releasing. So there's portals for receiving, portals for releasing. The tour I went on, Paul took me to one of each, which was, he said he asked the night before which portals he should take me to, and he was guided to Ascension Rock, which is the receiving portal, and Star of David portal, which is the letting go portal. I forget the word. So I verbally said out loud people who I've hurt and people who have hurt me, and stating I forgive them and meaning it. And obviously that's an emotional experience. I had to verbalize specific situations, so I did that. And it was a very safe space with Paul there. Like, he gave me a hug after, and I felt like his love, and I wasn't being judged, and it was just a beautiful connection and experience. So like the whole time I'm walking through Mount Shasta, I'm filled with like this childlike joy and curiosity, and I'm just looking at everything with like new eyes, and everything's magical. And then Paul says to me, you would think that we're on Earth, but we're not even on Earth right now. This is the 5th dimension. And I'm looking around and like I'm trying to understand what he's saying, but I don't 100% no, but like I've heard people say that they've experienced the fifth dimension. I don't want to say I experienced it and then be wrong, but I really do feel like when me and Paul were in that forest hiking through the snow, I really didn't feel like it was Earth. It was a different place and it was a different dimension. I was in a magical land. So that's just how I'm gonna describe it, and take it for however you want to take it. But that was my experience. And I thought it was really magical that Paul said those words to me, because it really resonated. And I think that was my first 5D experience, but not 100% sure. But it was really magical. And I do know that every time I close my eyes, I can go right back there. And when I got home, I watched the Chronicles of Narnia, because that's kind of what it reminded me of. And I actually haven't watched that movie since I was a kid. But when I watched it, I knew like that I was in like a place like Narnia. It was, I can't even describe it. It's different when you go there in the snow. Let me just add, because I have no idea what Mount Shasta looks like on a regular summer day with no snow. All I know is I never even knew that I loved the snow so much. I've only been to the snow one time in my whole life. It was when I was like a kid, and it wasn't even real snow. It was like a few inches, then it went away like in a few days. So I never had a real snow experience. I always thought I was a beach person, a water girl. I think I lived with the abominable snowmans or something, because I like was trying to imagine their presence. I looked all the way up to the very top of the trees, and I almost felt like their presence was as big as that. Like they were as tall as those trees, and they were so like cute and loving, like a big teddy bear. That's how I pictured them. I don't know if that's all in my head or if I was like onto something, but I almost could feel them. But like, I don't want to say that for sure because I don't 100% know. But if it was real, that's so magical. And I think that's how Paul was telling me that they appear to us, is you have to imagine what you're feeling and imagining first, and that it will slowly, they'll start to lower their vibration, or you'll start to higher your vibration to where you guys could kind of meet and be in the same frequency enough to where you could see each other. I'm not 100% sure. That's just my intuition. I'm still learning to like listen to my intuition and like which part of it is correct or not. And it's actually really magical. I bet like I'll look back on this video and I'll say like, bitch, your intuition was right all along. Sorry for the foul language. I also cuss a lot, and I know it's not spiritual of me, but I'm gonna try to not do that in the videos because I don't want to like scare anyone off. So then when I got back from Mount Shasta, or actually after I was leaving Mount Shasta, I just didn't see the message till after I was out of Mount Shasta. It was Paul who's sending me book recommendations, and this is one of the books that I got. It's about Saint Germain, and Saint Germain appeared a few times when we were hiking through the portal, so that was special to me. I couldn't see him or feel him, but Paul did, and so that was special. He'll appear to anyone who wants to see him with a pure heart, and we all have that. So I'm not saying I'm like special that he appeared for me, but it was special to me, but it will be special to you too. Again, obviously you guys are all here watching the video because you most likely want to experience Mount Shasta. And I'm just here to like tell you my experience, to like encourage you to go now. It's so amazing there. And what's funny is the universe will make sure whoever's supposed to see this video will see it. I don't even have to do the work. I put out the video, the universe makes sure whoever's meant to see the message sees it. That's how it works, and it's fun and it's beautiful. And thank you for working with me, universe. Please make sure whoever is meant to see this video and these words, make sure that they see it. I'm gonna end the video on that note. I'm sorry that the story wasn't told in the easiest way and I jumped around a lot. Like, this is my first YouTube video and I have so much to learn, so just bear with me. I hope you guys found this video interesting, or like, the most important thing is if this video encouraged you to like go to Mount Shasta. And that's the whole point of the video. We want to bring the light of the mountain to people who are being called so that they can go and experience that light and bring it back and integrate it into their body and send that light back out into the world, because that's how we're raising the vibration of the planet. So Paul reminded me of that. I keep forgetting that I'm here for like a mission. Sounds so fun, but like sometimes I forget and I fall back into like that 3D trap. But then I'm reminded the universe slaps you in the face with stuff like the second you start forgetting, and they're like, you don't have time to forget. Like, we have work to do. This is an exciting time, an exciting shift happening, and we are all a part of it, and it's so exciting. So anyways, I can't wait to make my next video because I actually realized I love talking on camera. So, all right, I'm gonna go now. I talk too much and I had coffee earlier, so that's probably why. But I'm so happy to make this video for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. And I actually honestly really have love for you guys, and I hope you feel it. And I'm sending so much love to all of you. Feel it, embrace it, and I love you guys, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.